Hello, this is Abraham Shaker. My student ID is 1012670. So I have enrolled in this EML 5110 online. So I am into the discussion page, and today is we are in week 3, and I've been asked or advised to uh, record uh, we blog or blog, whatever. I am new into all this technology. I tried to sign in on August 31st into the virtual call, but unfortunately, I was trying desperately, and finally, I got in by the time your call was towards the end, and it was the last 2 minutes I came in, and so I didn't learn anything except now I replayed the link and I saw uh, about the microscope and the telescope, what Wes was talking about, and that gave some insight into how we are going to look into Christian education. Now, in this recording, I just want to give a brief account of what I've been learning in these 3 weeks. Week one was just a reading of Dr. Estep's book and on the introduction side. So, while learning about Christian education, which is being broader than what we experience and understand in our times, whereas the history can provide us ample theories and practices of education. And with that influence, for learning from the history, we will be able to modify or bring in Christian education uh, in our times. In the virtual call, I just saw in the link that how some of the personalities, um, what was displayed in the screenshot, share screen, that Dr. Johnson like person could bring out the Christian education into our present day times. So, Christian education, when we say it's not going to be just interpreting or teaching the Word of God alone, but how it can be employed to our practical life. That's very important. But it should revolve around the Word of God and the Christian theology. So, it's a real challenge to um, know how we are going to employ in our times. So now I'm going to week 2, and what did I learn over there? So we were learning through how the culture during the Hebrew education time or the Jewish education time and the Greek education times or era, which was quite influential when we see from history. And I, right from beginning, I'm looking at my age, you all would know that I've been studying so many things in my life. And when I studied American history and also the philosophy, American political philosophy, and the Christian philosophy, and all that, um, I see how our whole civilization, or in the past for 700 years or so, how the whole humanity got drifted into the philosophies of Socrates and Plato and Aristotle, right up to Alexander the Great. And when we got shifted, how we had become liberal in our thinking. This is one of the points I've been stressing in my philosophy, or in my views about introducing anything to the present generation. I always say these philosophies also led us to get drifted away from the original emphasis that we had on the Word of God or Christian theology. And we know in the US we have our fight for freedom, or under the word life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness or pursuit of property, that word liberty, or which is also interpreted as the freedom. Uh, when our people fight for freedom, how, as in the last um, week three, what we learned uh, about how in Christian education the importance should be given for the Word of God and Christian theology. While adopting, I just wrote it in the discussion panel that how Roman education system was focused on transforming the culture and the civilization. So they wanted Roman culture and civilization in not only in the areas of their occupancy or the countries of occupancy, but they had such a drive to influence the whole world. And just now, as I said, our Jewish education confined somehow into the education of the Torah and the like, and it confined to uh, their community of the Jewish. But how much Hebrew Greek education, sorry, it had a larger influence into many other countries. And so when we are fighting for introducing or reinforcing our education system with Christian education, as in the virtual call said it towards the end, or somewhere Dr. Davis was mentioning, and I too believe, according to what we are writing in the third point in each discussion in our board, that is, how do we apply, or what is the application that we can do in our immediate situation. So, having been in the a ministry leader back in India for more than 50 years, I still have my sphere of influence among more than 13 to 15,000 leaders back in India who are like gospel workers and leaders scattered all over India. After coming to the US during this time of my DTS, I also uh, try to make some blogs or vlogs or YouTube clips and putting it, and I'm expressing my view. So now, by studying in this particular class of UML 5110, I'm sure that it is going to build my inner personality and conviction more stronger than before, to somehow bring this Christian education and employ or apply in all the areas of my influence. So that is the small clip I want to put now, and let me see what more is expected of me. I'd like to ask, send a mail to Dr. Davis, and or if she sees, or Dr. West, going to be Dr. West, you can comment on my this submission, and please advise what I need to do. Thank you.